This video is sponsored by PCBWay. Do you know what this is? Or what's cool about it? Well, let me show you. This microcontroller has built-in LEDs, and not just any LEDs, programmable NeoPixels. Do you know what isn't cool? Leaving small fire hazards unattended while you trick or treat. So today we're putting this Circuit Playground Express from Adafruit into my biggest print yet, a pumpkin that filled the build volume of my 3D printer. We're gonna add an atomizer that you'd find in a humidifier to get a nice subtle smoke effect, again without the fire. Finally, I want to show you how simple it is to program for this thing. Seriously, there's support for this in Microsoft's MakeCode platform, which can be described as block programming. It's so easy that if I wasn't trying to record this, I'd probably have this done in a few minutes. So let's print a pumpkin, test the atomizer, get into the Hello World tutorial of this Circuit Playground Express just in time for Halloween. First, well, we need a pumpkin. At the time of filming, my wife informed me, you can't buy a pumpkin now, it'll wrap before Halloween. Well, what if I buy two? No. Okay, fine. I have some orange filament, let's print one. So I spent literal minutes on Thingiverse and found this cute pumpkin. A bit small, but nothing 1000% scale can't fix, and yeah, that looks about right. Add some tree supports, PVA at the interface. 26 hours later, we hook this thing into a bucket of water and pull away the supports. Okay, so slight problem here, it wasn't watertight, and it took about a week for all the water to seep out, so you may want to print some thick walls. But I'm not just tossing everything on the ground, so we need a base. Adafruit has a model we can use to hold the Playground Express, but we'll just build a small channel for water, a cutout for cables, and it's not just good, it's good enough. Now that you've seen the print, I want to tell you how PCBWay might be able to help you with a project like this. If you don't have a printer or a printer with a build volume, they can make this or even larger prints. If you're more advanced and want to make a hat for this Playground Express, they can take your design and print or assemble custom PCBs too. What I'm excited for most is their ability to do custom CNC machining, which I'd love to convert some of my favorite prints like tools and toys into a more durable material. 3D printing, custom PCBs, and CNC machining is only a few of the services PCBWay offers, so check them out in the link below. Now let's get some mist in or out of this pumpkin. This thing is cool and only a couple bucks on Amazon. We have a PCB with a button and USB port connected to a piece of metal with a silicone ring. This ring just sets up on top of the water and vibrates. That vibration will pull the water from underneath through teeny tiny holes in the center, converting it essentially into a mist. Then that mist momentum shoots it up into the air. Does this sound like a humidifier? Well, that's because it is, and you'll find these in the cheapest of humidifiers. It's probably not good to have a humidifier next to an exposed microcontroller, but moving on. So a 3D pumpkin is cool. A little misty smoke coming out of it is neat. But nobody trick-or-treats during the day, so nobody is seeing this at night. Let's add a candle. Wait, no, that's dangerous. Let's add some LEDs. For the absolute beginner, we're gonna slow down a bit here and really show what's going on. This Circuit Playground Express is great because it has integrated NeoPixel LEDs, and Microsoft MakeCode has native support for making this block programming incredibly easy. We're gonna start by going to Adafruit's flavor of Microsoft MakeCode and start a new project. We're presented with a preview of our Playground Express, some available commands, and our blocks of code with an onStart method and a forever loop already placed for us. First, we're going to set all our pixels to a color and max brightness, and our preview will show just that. When we connect our Playground Express to the computer, we can download the script directly to it and test. Technically, all we need to do is randomize the brightness in the forever loop to get the effect we want, but we're going to work a little harder here to show you the basics in this block code. So we're going to add and set a variable named color to the color yellow. Next, we'll set our lights to the color variable. Then we're going to set the brightness to a random number between 32 and 255. 255 is the maximum because that's as high as a signed integer can go, and if you set the brightness to 0, then the LEDs are off. I chose 32 because it's dim but not off, resulting in a nice flicker effect. Finally, if this is a little basic, you can click on the JavaScript button up here and you can see the start block with a loop underneath and code from here if you prefer. The wires on this atomizer are way too short, so I'm going to solder in a 2-pin JSTSM pigtail to lengthen it. So we're gonna torch some heat shrink near the atomizer, then we can place it in its mount on the pumpkin base. Feed the wires through the holes so we can pull them out. With the Atomizer and the Playground Express in their mounts, we can run one final test to make sure it all works together. And so that's how I was the first person on my street to get a pumpkin out on the front step. I love the flickering light effect, although it might be a good idea to tune the flickering into something more believable. We can also add some orange and red tones at random for a little splash of color. Next time, I'll also look for more of a fogger than a mister, since the mist is pretty subtle without the proper backlight. Best thing about this is it's not gonna rot, and when I have to take down the decorations, I can use it again next year. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm really trying to dip my toes in a little bit of animation here, so if you did, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe. It helps me out.